Women of America have been voting for 100 years. Theoretically. The 19th Amendment was passed in August of 1920 due to the tenacity, bravery, strength, and ingenuity of the women who fought for this right. However, large groups of people remained disenfranchised until passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965, which prohibited racial discrimination in voting. In 2013, the Supreme Court struck down part of the Voting Rights Act, making voter suppression a very real and present threat.
The government which had made the Negro a citizen found itself unable to protect him. It gave him the right to vote, but denied him the protection which should have maintained that right.
Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells was an activist, a journalist, a teacher, and a mother of four. Born into an enslaved family, they were freed by the Emancipation Proclamation when she was just 6 months old. Ida B. Wells spoke out against systemic violence and discrimination. She refused to be silenced, even when her life was at risk.
I'd rather go down in history as one lone Negro who dared to tell the government that it had done a dastardly thing than to save my skin by taking back what I said.
Everyone knows the story of Rosa Parks. But do people know that in 1884, Ida B. Wells was ordered to move from a first-class train car that she had bought a ticket for into a segregated car for African Americans? She refused and was therefore forcibly removed.
The moment he caught hold of my arm, I fastened my teeth to the back of his hand. I had braced my feet against the seat in front and was holding to the back. And as he had already been badly bitten, he didn't try it again by himself.
Ida B. Wells sued the railway company and won in circuit court, only to have the ruling overturned by the state Supreme Court.
The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them.
Ida B. Wells began to write. She joined the staff of the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight and soon became co-owner. She wrote and published articles about racial injustice while also working as a teacher. When she spoke out against the inequalities of the segregated school system, she was fired from her teaching job.
Somebody must show that the Afro-American race is more sinned against than sinning, and it seems to have fallen upon me to do so.
In 1892, Ida B. Wells wrote an impassioned and explicit article about the lynching of 3 black grocery store owners in Memphis.
No other nation, civilized or savage, burns its criminals. Only under the stars and stripes is the human holocaust possible, the gruesome tribute which the nation pays to the color line.
In retaliation, a mob of angry white people destroyed the offices of the Memphis Free Speech and threatened to kill Ida if she ever returned.
Our watchword has been the land of the free and the home of the brave. Brave men do not gather by thousands to torture and murder a single individual. So gagged and bound, he can't make even feeble resistance or defense. Neither do brave men or women stand by and see such things done without compunction of conscience, or read about them without protest.
Undeterred, Ida B. Wells continued to write and speak openly about the horrors of lynching. Her work was crucial in raising awareness about these atrocities, both in the U.S. and abroad. Ida B. Wells founded the Alpha Suffrage Club and was invited to march at the 1913 Suffrage Parade in Washington, D.C. When she arrived, she and other women of color were told to march at the back. This was unacceptable. So, Ida B. Wells waited on the sidelines, and when the white suffragists from Chicago began to march, she stepped in and marched right alongside them.
Either I go with you or not at all. I am not taking the stand because I personally wish for recognition. I am doing it for the future benefit of my whole race.
Despite being threatened, ostracized, and marginalized, Ida B. Wells continued to fight for what was right.
I felt like one had better die fighting against injustice than to die like a dog or a rat in a trap.
Today, in 2020, these same issues still persist, including violence against people of color, systemic racism, inequalities for women, and voter suppression.
Treat the world well. It was not given to you by your parents, but lent to you by your children.
This election in November may be the most important of our lifetimes. Exercise your rights. Protect human rights. Vote.